The video games industry is one of the most innovative and fastest growing industries in the world. The men and women of this industry work tirelessly to provide entertainment for the masses, and some of these provide the music that we love, music that we listen to when we're enjoying ourselves playing those video games, music that we love, music that we listen to when we're enjoying ourselves listening to video games. Do we even know who these people are? No. Would video games be the same without them? No.
Good morning and or afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the IGM Sunday Newscast. I'm your host, Nick Seska, and also known as the Average Gamer. And with me is a repeat from last week, Kurt, if you want to say hi.
Hello. I'm here. Hi.
This is actually the first time I think you and I have spoken, if not typed.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the occasional "Hi, Nick" on via Skype, but text-based. But yeah, this is the first time I actually get to communicate with you, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
How have you been enjoying working with IGM?
I sincerely love it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. No, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've never been so closely involved with like indie game developers, let alone like other journalists and stuff. So it's really quite a pleasure to be looking and be like someone who sees indie game companies and loves them dearly, and then all of a sudden have them reach out to me personally, and that's very strange and very pleasing and awesome at the same time. So yeah, it's a different route for me, but I'm really enjoying my time at Indie Game Magazine. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. I'm looking forward to doing some shows with you too, so that'll be good. We have some new lineups coming up for our newscast that we've been chatting about kind of behind the scenes. But I think that's more going to be starting in the fall, like September-ish. And we'll get back to you more about that later.
Cool.
So today we have some cool news pieces, and pretty much everything has a video. I didn't plan it that way, it's just kind of what happened. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was, this is called Girls Make Games. So what it is, it's a summer camp for girls from grades 6 to 10, and they go to this summer camp and actually get to make their own games. I learned about this because when I was checking the Kickstarters for this episode, I actually found a game that they have put on Kickstarter, which we'll cover later. But yeah,
I had heard of them because if you look under the partners, Double Fine had supported them a few months back. So like I kind of saw that, but I admittedly forgot about it until today. So that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, they have some big names in there. They like it's in a couple of different U.S. cities, I know. And it's like a summer camp. You can do 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. Anyway, I'm going to play the video because I kind of want to show that off and let people see what it's all about.
Hi there. My name's Layla, and I have a question for you. Do you know what one of the fastest growing jobs in America is? Doctor? Lawyer? Ha, not a chance. Actually, one of the fastest growing occupations in America is game designer, which is pretty cool if you think about it. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a job that challenges their creativity and inspires them to push the boundaries of their craft? It's just too bad girls aren't usually invited to the party. Yeah, that's right. Finding a successful woman in the industry is like seeing a unicorn jump over a double rainbow while watching a rap video with strong, progressive female characters in it. Pretty darn rare. Note to self. Game about an empowered female unicorn that raps and travels via rainbow sounds amazing. Back on topic. Why is this? Is that dragon on level 9 gonna be any less fearsome if a girl designed it? Would gamers self-destruct if that armor you picked for your female warrior actually looked practical? Heck no. Girls are smart. Girls are creative. If you ask us, this industry could use a little girl power in it. At Lorne District, we're making games to bridge the gap between education and gaming. We believe gaming doesn't have to be just a fun time sink. It can also be a tool that enriches our lives. Our mission is one of innovation, and it starts right at the source. It's time new voices were heard, new viewpoints shared, new visions brought to life. And that means it's time the gender barrier was pulled down. And it's time we give girls a chance to put their stamp on our medium. This is what Girls Make Games is all about. As a game developer and proud gamer myself, I truly believe game dev offers girls an unparalleled opportunity to express themselves. Girls can make games. Girls should make games. And darn it, games need girls. We're not waiting for anybody's permission anymore. Let's get this party started.
So, Girls Make Games. I'll let you finish the video.
So yes.
Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's important that things like this exist, because the gaming industry has for a long time been a boys' club, obviously. They even have some stats in there that if 47% of gamers are girls nowadays, there's still only about 12% in the actual industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely I think this is important, and of course, it's obviously, it's very frustrating that girls have not found or don't seem to be as involved in the industry. But there's definitely, I think it is actually the girl the person who wrote the Uncharted trilogy was a female, and I think that was really fantastic, and I really think it would be great for more people to focus on that stuff. But no, this is great. I think this is an awesome thing to at least get people initiated, or maybe if younger females are not yet, or maybe, I don't know, timid, or don't understand that they can be involved too, I guess. But yeah, I think it's important. I think it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a great way to get exposure out there. Not even just to girls alone, even. This is a great way to get exposure in the entire gaming industry. Because the games that come out of here, like I said, we're going to look at one of the games in Kickstarter.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, the fact that it hit Kickstarter already says that they have a little bit of influence. And I know one of the judges, because they judge all of the team's games at the end of the camp, one of the judges is actually Tim Schafer.
Ah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
As a huge fan, I'm surprised. Well, like I said, I know about it from his personal Twitter and Double Fines, but I must have just fell out of the loop out of there.
No, exactly.
But that's awesome.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is the weirdest Australian game. Have you heard of Double Happy versus the Infinite Sadness?
Not until I saw this document. I watched the video for it. But no, I don't know about this, but I'm really intrigued. I was actually kind of purposely waiting to really discover what it was until this Sunday.
So I wanted to bring it up because it was nominated for an Australian Effects and Animation Award.
Which is good because the animation in it is incredible.
Yeah, and it's the only indie game in that category, and it's going up against games like The Witcher 3 and Civilization. So, yeah. So this one has a video as well. I'm going to play that because I can't explain it. So,
yeah, it's magical. Just let it speak for itself.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm watching an episode of Invader Zim meets Animaniacs, but that's an actual video game.
And what's amazing, and what's so fantastic about the animation, speaking of that, is it's so crazy and so well done that if I had seen that, I would have never known it was a video game. Which is just, I think that's amazing. It's fantastic. Yeah,
it's crazy. And one of the great ways that they have done marketing is they actually have a whole set of webisodes. So I'll just show this. Nope, I won't show it. Why won't you show? There we go. Just taking time loading. So if you guys want to check it out, it's Double Happy versus the Infinite Sadness.com/webisodes. I'll type that in. And while I type that in, let's watch one. Let's just watch one, and then we can chat about it more too, because it's ridiculous.
Oh. So, seriously, I'm not quite sure what crack they're smoking. I can only assume that this is going to be a point-and-click adventure.
Which, I mean, yeah, I mean, that would, especially for that, like, caliber of animation, but yeah, that would be, I would be all over that since
Yeah.
healthy obsession for adventure games, so.
I'm going to be watching this one closely. The marketing with those kind of webisodes, it reminds me a lot of when the Rabbids games came out, which did really well for them. So,
Yes, indeed.
plus the Animations Awards, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a lot more of this in the future.
Yeah, I think they're okay. I think
Yeah.
they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
I think they got it under control.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that is so ridiculous though. Okay, so that's really all I had for news for this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice and quick, super easy.
Yeah, last week there was we were talking about some controversial Kickstarters, so that was like, but yeah, I mean this was, wow, so easy, so simple.
Yeah. I saw you were chatting about Yogscast last week. I would have loved to hop in on that one, but
Yeah, I mean we spent a lot of time on that, but more importantly on the other one. What was that? The
with
shows how much of
Putin?
an impact it made.
Yeah.
What was that?
With Putin?
It was the stalker thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. The Azer or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. That's all.
Anyways, yeah.
Anyways.
Okay.
Now for positive news. This stuff
Woo!
is actually positive and fun to talk about. Girls' camps and
Crazy
bunnies,
rabbits.
or
they're
basketball in their brains.
I love the differences between them too. He just bounces it and eats it, and then the other one like rips it to pieces.
But now, what are we on to? Kickstarter stuff?
Yeah, we'll go straight to the Kickstarter for sure. So first one I wanted to look at is Elysian Shadow.
Ah, the one I did the story on, or at least the story for their Kickstarter announcement. But yes.
Do you want to chat about it, and then we can watch a video?
Sure. So first, I mean, Elysian Shadows is kind of a big thing for Indie Game Magazine because they're actually going to be the cover story for our August issue. So everyone here at IGM is pretty hands-on with this project, and I would like to say we know what's going on with it. But it's essentially a pixel art open world RPG. But what's so interesting about it is that they're really taking making a really amazing attempt at, instead of just doing a modern nostalgic pixel RPG. They're really trying to modernize it while retaining these roots of, like Secret of Mana style type RPGing. And it's so interesting because they're releasing it on the Sega Dreamcast in a hard copy.
What?
They are releasing amongst pretty much every imaginable platform. The big crazy thing is that it's going to be a Sega Dreamcast game. It's going to be on a hard copy. So for those of you
God.
like myself with a working Dreamcast, I'm very interested just to be able to buy a new Dreamcast game.
That's actually my favorite console.
Yeah, no,
Dreamcast.
same here. Absolutely. It was just the Dreamcast is so endearing to me, and I absolutely adore that system. And to have a new RPG on it, let alone one that's doing such unique, cool stuff. Like they have real-time lighting and physics for this 2D game, and it looks they're using the sprite lamp, which is from another successful Kickstarter where somebody made a real-time lighting system for pixel art games, and it just looks outstanding. It just looks so interesting and weird to see these 2D things come have depth. It's very weird. So anyways, so Kickstarter launched yesterday, 2 days ago.
2
days ago.
2 days ago.
So
Ooh.
yeah.
And let's actually go to the Kickstarter because I can't maximize this video. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so 150 grand. That's a steep one for
That's
an indie
big.
game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's not undoable. I mean, obviously, you've seen
We've
bigger
seen
things, but
tons of projects make that,
Yeah.
but I mean, 2 days in, they're already almost 50,000, 45,000, and I don't know. I think this could be something promising.
Yeah.
And I actually like a lot of the. I'll keep this short, but a lot of the things that I have, a lot of my problems or tiffs with certain Kickstarters is the price. I feel like sometimes people are a little steep about what they're asking for, and I know it's tough. This is their life, this is their work, but I do think with how ambitious they are and they're presenting so much that I think $150,000 is actually makes sense to me, especially if they're going to be putting out hard copies of this on a Sega Dreamcast, and just based on its scope, it sounds I think they know what they're doing. They're ambitious enough. I think they know.
With how many Kickstarters I end up doing weekly, I'm gonna say with that much of a push at the beginning, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make that target.
Yeah,
it might be close, but I think they're gonna make it for sure.
Yeah.
That being said, let's watch the video.
Wait for it. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Elysian Shadow started off as an old-school 16-bit RPG from the Sega Dreamcast exclusively. It was highly influenced by games like Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana. But over the years, as we've been working on it, our creative vision really got a lot more ambitious than it was initially. We kind of found ourselves wanting to add things to the game and engine that were never possible on the older consoles like the Super Nintendo and Genesis. We really wanted to add things like dynamic lighting, rigid body physics, particles, things that were really not really used conventionally in 2D games, and we found ourselves really wanting to push the envelope of what it meant to be a 2D RPG and what could be achieved creatively through pixel art.
We wanted to create an experience that really captured the magic from the games of our childhood. Something that the younger players could appreciate, while the veterans would find nostalgic yet refreshing.
You hear gamers and developers talking all the time about how great Secret of Mana is, or how Chrono Trigger inspired them to make their own 2D RPG, which ironically enough is exactly how this project started. But what you don't hear is you don't really hear of people trying to push the envelope or do anything particularly new with the 2D RPG genre. I feel like it's been pretty stagnant in that regard. And what we're trying to do here is we're not trying to create a retro game. That's not what this is. This is not old school. This is trying to take the heart and soul of what made those games so appealing from our youth and create a game that is very modern and very new and recreate them in a manner that makes them completely relevant by today's standards.
Sold! I'm in.
So yeah, there's a lot of really interesting, fascinating things, and I think the one thing that sold me is that it's not just a retro game. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's you. There's obviously a lot more there. They're just I think it's a good balance of trying to give a homage to things that they love while clearly making it still modern, and that's really exciting. For some reason, it was like I don't know, like the depth of detail they're going in with when they're showing particle and this 2D character going through these particles. I don't know, it was a little reminiscent to me of Fez in the sense of taking
Oh yeah,
2D pixel art and really trying to make it like something more. And I think that's awesome.
I also really enjoyed it was subtle, but they were showing off the lighting effects, and when the sun went down in the town, all the shopkeepers came out to close their shops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
and the
also
curtains
got
went down and all that.
Yeah, it's really cool. I also really love their stretch goals. I mean, they have some stretch goals that you would normally see in Kickstarters, getting onto different consoles and that kind of thing. But I like putting down there. They have the local multiplayer as one of the big stretch goals because it's something that's really difficult to put into games, especially for an indie developer. And then the last stretch goal of Elysian Shadows Online, I'm sure that's their they'd love to do it.
Yeah.
But I bet they're apprehensive about that one too.
Sure, but hey, that's I actually really liked that their goals were that ambitious. Everything that they're doing here is very ambitious. They're very over the they're clearly very over the top of their goals, but I think it's somewhat realistic and doable. So the fact that they're even willing to, well, what if we got $800,000? What would we do with that? That's a great idea. So I think that's cool. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys want, you can back the game at as low as $15 to actually get a copy, which is pretty cheap for a game that looks that ambitious.
Definitely. But don't forget, also, if you donate $60, you get a year subscription to Indie Game Magazine. So that's
Perfect.
actually cool tier.
Yeah, that's cool for that game, and that's a good price.
Yeah. And amongst many other things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next up, we are looking at Aegis Defenders.
This is one to me. I think it is, at least. I don't know it.
We'll watch the video for this one, and then we can chat about it. This one, I like this one, but I will watch it, and then we'll chat. So that's Aegis Defenders. What do you think?
That got me real excited. I was like not expecting for me to be like that. Like I didn't want that video to end.
I know it's a really neat concept, kind of doing that duo, the mentor and student.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of this is probably really out of nowhere, but like for some reason it's like really reminiscent of like Gunstar Heroes for Sega Genesis for some reason.
Oh heck yeah,
Maybe
nice
'cause-
game.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing game, and I don't know if it's because of just like that art style that it had, but yeah, I thought for some reason that spoke to me. I don't know, I was really excited about that. The combination of like, you know, co-op with just like strategic, almost like tower defense style gaming with like the hyper fast action of Gunstar Heroes. I was like, whoa.
I love the two different styles too, because you have they're very different. The one looks like she's all about guns and laying traps and that kind of thing, whereas the gentleman has the hammer that's laying down the turrets and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like it's a really interesting amalgamation of a couple different genres. So that's why I'm really interested to see how it's going to go. They've only been on for a couple of days and they're like 75% funded. So
Okay, what are they going for?
they need 65 grand and they're at 49 right now.
Okay, good. I want that game.
Yeah.
What are they doing this for? Is it just going to be PC, Mac, maybe?
This one, is going to be PC mostly. I think they have in the stretch goals that they might put it on different consoles.
Good.
Yeah. One of the neat things, too, is they have the Shovel Knight as an unlockable character in the game.
Whoa.
Right?
What? Oh, what?
It's huge.
Oh, interesting. Does that mean
Yeah.
so does that mean that there's more unlockable characters for this game? Or, I mean...
Not currently. They got permission from the people that made Shovel Knight to actually put him in.
That's
and
great.
it's only for one of the game types. It's not for like the main campaign storyline. So
No, that's still really quite unique. That's awesome.
yeah, exactly. Who doesn't like playing a Shovel Knight, right?
I wonder if I mean, he's probably gonna have his own tributes too. That's so interesting. I dig it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so that's Aegis Defenders. I'm looking forward to it. So if you want to back it, I will link that. But let me get this next one ready. We're going to be talking about Gravia Tactics.
Man, apparently I'm just out of the loop on Kickstarters from these past few days because usually I'm on top of it.
Oh,
Not this
no
week.
worries.
No, if anything, it's a good thing. I can come here with fresh eyes.
Okay, so we'll watch this video. I'll get that link to you guys, and maybe I'll link this one too.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm the programmer at Punchbag Entertainment.
Hi, and I'm Jin. I'm the artist for Punchbag Entertainment, and together over the past year we've been working on our new project, Gravia Tactics.
Gravia Tactics is a turn-based tactical RPG for the PC and hopefully Mac and Linux. It's inspired by greats like Gungnir, Disgaea, and FFT. In battles you're going to see a depth over breadth of gameplay, which means fewer characters in your party, but a greater set of options for configuring your party's abilities, gear, and statistics. There's also a multi-layered mechanics system in the game that means that the clever player can capitalise on these situations and give himself an advantage over their enemies. There's also an exploration portion to the game, which means that there are hidden areas and items, unlockable characters, and small portions of the story that you might not experience if you just stay on the trodden path. A full gameplay feature list can be found further down the page.
Gravia is a world destroyed by environmental cataclysms brought on by hundreds of years of human industry and pollution. What scarce resources remain are controlled by power-hungry conglomerates only out for themselves. Our story focuses on a colourful band of characters who come together through their adventure. There are many obstacles, twists and turns that sorely test our adventure's resolve and integrity. Over time, they find out that the world is not as clear-cut as they once thought, exploring some emotive and really mature themes, particularly in the latter half of the story.
For the past year, we've been developing all of the tools that allow us to create the content for Gravia, as well as fleshing out the universe's storyline, characters, and background.
So now that we're done building all the tools we need, we're at the creative phase, which is all about churning out all the high quality content that we'll need for the rest of the game. And as you can imagine, that takes a lot of time.
That's right. So to achieve that, we're going to need to quit our day jobs and work full time on Gravia Tactics.
We need to hire voice actors, musicians, sound technicians, and supporting artists and animators for our cutscenes.
But we can't do it without your help, so please help us make this dream game a reality by backing the project and bagging yourself some fantastic goodies in the process. You can see those on the right. And if you have any questions, you can get in touch with us here on Kickstarter, on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, or our website, hunchbagentertainment.com. Thanks very much.
Thanks for listening.
Hey, Monaco, can you believe it?
Hmm?
It's time to kickstart Gravia Tactics.
I know, you've told me 15 times already. But yes, it's an exciting time, especially for June and Steve.
Who now?
June and Steve use Sludge for Brains, the proud creators of Gravia Tactics.
Oh, them. Yeah, they're alright, I guess. They should work out more.
Clay!
What the heck just happened?
You transmuted into a mallow. This is what happens when you bite the hand that animates you.
Yeah.
Anyway, ever since they were not much bigger than mallows themselves, June and Steve loved to spend their free time drawing, writing stories, and designing games.
Yeah, and for the past year, they've both been working super hard on their first full-feature game, Gravia Tactics. It's a narrative-driven, turn-based tactical RPG for the PC? Whatever that is. With anime vibes, compelling characters, and storyline drawing on JRPG classics and more.
But now, they need your help. You see, their free time, even all of it, isn't enough to make Gravia the amazing, rich world they imagine. Not in any time soon, anyway.
With your help funding the project, June and Steve can quit their pesky day jobs and work on us, our friends, our world, and our adventure full-time.
They'll be able to work with other creative people to get help with the artwork.
Okay, guys. We don't need them talking that much.
That's pretty long.
They should have cut that video off after the developers were done talking. They didn't need to add in this boring part here. So Gravia Tactics. This one, it's interesting, but I kind of wanted to touch on it on the way you shouldn't do videos, for one. And like you were talking about when you're like 120 grand for this game is a little much.
And more importantly, 120 pounds too.
Oh, pounds.
Like that's I mean, you know, that weighs out to be quite a lot more too. So
yeah,
that's expensive. So yeah. What do you?
They even say in there like most of the funding is going to salaries, which I get if they're trying to make this a full-time thing, but I don't know. That's not why you usually go on to Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be funding that one. But
yeah, I mean, admittedly, I'll just say it. Like, I'm not a huge tactical, like turn-based person.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, I'm just for like a personal choice, I wouldn't back this. And you know, I probably would if it was really trying to do something unseen or not necessarily heard of as you know, in tactical games. But I mean, this is a pretty, I don't know, I would say like conservative tactical turn-based game with your bubbly, corny anime characters and their circle pants. But
yeah, and unfortunately, those are very common on Kickstarter. I think it's pretty easy to develop it, much like a turn-based combat, like a normal Final Fantasy style game. The Final Fantasy Tactics style game is also not very demanding gameplay mechanic-wise. So
I guess it's just expensive, and that kind of goes back to, you know, like usually where my tips are with Kickstarters is just like sometimes, you know, it could be a little steep, and I think I don't think this game looks bad by any means. It just, I think 120,000 pounds is a lot of money to ask for.
Yeah.
Especially when what it is by no means groundbreaking. But yeah, that's that.
That being said, we will move on to our next game. This one is called Avalon Lords, and I do not know this one. This one was recommended to us by our editor, so let's give it a first impression. We'll watch the video first, and then we can chat about our reaction after.
A united empire, forged through the union of three great powers. Under the rule of the god King Lutherian, they ushered Avalon into a new age. But nothing lasts forever, and the death of Lutherian III brought an end to the Golden Age. Amidst war and dark rumors, Avalon split once again into warring factions. Long-held alliances shattered. Allegiances shifted. Loyalties were tested and betrayed. In the chaos that followed, battle lines were drawn, blood was spilled, and civil war scorched the fair lands of Avalon. As the Order of Darkness withdrew to their mountain homes, and the Order of the Divine fought amongst themselves for wealth and power, the Order of Dawn stood alone once more. 200 years have passed since the fall of Avalon. Powerful lords fight for control of land and resources, strengthening their armies and expanding their holds. Those who find victory will control these rich lands and grow in wealth and power, claiming new territory and seeking new wars. Join the Lords of Avalon and build mighty cities. Battle to claim new land and defend it against your enemies. Forge powerful empires and crush those who would stand in your way. Build your kingdom. Unite your empire. Conquer the world.
Hi, I'm Frank Cephalou, founder and CEO of Animus Interactive, and I'm here to talk to you today about our game studio and our very first upcoming title, Avalon Lords. Animus Interactive was a company founded in December 2012, with the very premise that we thought certain qualities were lacking from the MMORTS arena. And we decided to create this company to try to solve the problems that we saw in this very genre, and try to come up with solutions that we thought were intuitive to address these very same concerns. But in order to address a lot of those concerns, it means we had to create a team of talented individuals to help meet the very challenges that we would meet as an indie development company. In our company, we have a staff that is truly talented, coming from big AAA titles like Halo 4, Battlefield, Lord of the Rings Online, and DC Universe, just to name a few. This depth of experience allows our studio to tap the things that a normal indie development studio will only dream to be able to accomplish. Avalon Lords is a real-time strategy game set to come out next year, September 2015. By real-time strategy game, it means you, the player, will be set in a massive multiplayer online universe with real-time environments, large territories, large terrains, kilometer size, we're talking the size of Italy itself, for you to build on, conquer, and destroy your enemies. You start off as a small peasant, your small town hall, and you start building your empire, slowly, surely, You get set in a location that has no indication of where you are. You just have a little pinpoint on the map of where you're starting off. You have no idea where your enemies or future friends may be. You have to explore your world. You have to find out who's around you, who's next to you, how far away are you. You have to define what your boundaries are as a nation, as a kingdom. You have to defend your borders that you define yourself and your troops, and uphold your law as your king of your kingdom, and slowly gain power through alliances, through friendships.
Avalon Lords gives you the tools you need to create vast kingdoms and powerful empires. Travel with your armies through the terrain that we lay before you, fending off bandits, ambushes by other players, and using your spies to seek out new prizes to conquer and new lands to claim. Create beautiful, unique cities with a sandbox city builder that lets you decide how your city should be laid out and how your defenses should be built. And travel the realm to see everything your friends and rivals build. Customize and advance next level AI to keep your kingdom safe while you're away from the game. Or nominate friends to run it for you. Fight with your empire to conquer your server and become part of Avalon's ongoing story. We're coming to Kickstarter to get your support for the creation of the next generation MMORPG games, and I really hope that you share my vision for the future of MMORPG games. We want you to be part of this new world with us, to build great cities, fight bloody battles, and to write the ongoing story of Avalon alongside with us. And we cannot do this without the support of our wonderful community. Join us today on Kickstarter, and soon in the realm of Avalon.
The premise sounds unbelievably amazing.
My lord. My Avalon lords.
The execution of a real-time MMO has never been good. I don't know. I see a lot of potential in this game. But like, the problems with real-time strategies in an MMO form is how big do you make the map? If you make it too big, then players are never going to find each other. If you make it too small, then everybody's going to hate the game because it's too cramped.
Definitely.
And if your population fluctuates, you can't fluctuate your size of the map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking how I need a new RTS in my life too. But I mean, it looks beautiful. Like it's impressive. The guy's chair that he was sitting in was really nice. He seemed a little nervous, but I think that chair says it all. But yeah, I think it's it's an MMO RTS. How interesting. Yeah, that really is kind of cool. That's kind of, once again, ambitious.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's not an original idea by any means. It's just that there haven't really been any successful RTS MMOs.
Yeah, and I mean, and then also recently, I just feel like I haven't been hearing as much about RTSs, so which I think is a sad thing, because I mean, I used to be really big into them, and like I just said, I've been needing a new one. Maybe Avalon Lords is the one, but yeah.
Another expensive Kickstarter. Kickstarter is getting more expensive apparently as we go.
It is. No, definitely. I mean, there's been a few, obviously super successful Kickstarters that were pretty expensive. Mm-hmm. But usually those are under names that we know. I mean, names in the industry that are huge, who have come back to want to do something. But these are people I personally don't know. I don't know who this dude is in his chair. I know that he's with a team that's worked on a bunch of games, but like by no means are these names that are front and center of these games. So I think it's a little bit harder there too, to ask for a certain amount of money, and nobody necessarily knows who you are, even though you may have worked on some sweet games.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
How about this one? They have the PayPal donation button on their Kickstarter page if you're having trouble with Kickstarter. Is that good or bad, do you think?
That's something I've seen recently, too. Only in the past week I started seeing that. I think that's bad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Kickstarter, the whole concept of Kickstarter is that it's kind of like, it's all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And by having this donate button via PayPal, it's contradicting the concept of Kickstarter, because like when you do this when you go through PayPal, they're getting your money no matter what.
Yeah.
But what if their Kickstarter is unsuccessful?
Which means you should be going to Indiegogo anyway if you're already planning to make the game.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're looking to get money regardless of whether or not your campaign is successful or not, you should just go to Indiegogo, because no matter what, they'll get that money. So yeah, that's strange. I don't know if that's a good idea for them.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're planning on doing Indiegogo after Kickstarter fails, I don't know. But I mean, if it does fail, I'm assuming it will.
I have seen some, like there was one called Void Space that I actually backed. I totally wanted that game. Yeah, and they're like, there's another one, and TerraTech, though actually they made their Kickstarter. Void Space didn't make their Kickstarter though, and they were already making the game and planning to make it anyway. So, is Kickstarter just getting you guys money to finish off like the extra things? Because by their video, they said they needed Kickstarter to make their game.
Yes.
So.
Why do they have their PayPal then?
Yeah, exactly.
So interesting. Yeah, I've seen that a couple times recently. We're almost at the right at the top of the Kickstarter. It'll be like you can also donate here via PayPal, and I know a couple people. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's kind of contradictory and a little wonky donkey. But hey, whatever. They gotta get. I mean, if that'll help them get money to finish their game, then
I think you just defined a new phrase for the show. Wonky donkey
donkey.
That has to become a recurring thing.
Whenever we see a Kickstarter that we don't know how we feel about it, we'll just finish it with wonky donkey.
Yeah, wonky
move on to the next one.
Then we have to make a game.
And then we have to make
simulator.
the game Wonky Donkey, where you just look at a bunch of Kickstarters, and if you don't support it, it's Wonky Donkey. Move on.
Okay, so we're going to go on to the grand prize winner of the Girls Makes Games. You'll notice that they have 9 days to go. They were asking for 10 grand. They are well above that, so at this point you're pre-ordering the game if you guys are interested.
Oh.
And this game was made by a team of girls who are between the ages of, what is grade 6 to 10? What's that, like 15 to... No.
What,
anyway,
6,
9,
6 to 10?
yeah,
It'll
9
be like
to
11-year-olds to... Yeah, like 15 or whatever, sure. 11 to something.
Sure.
11 to 14 and 15, something around that. They're little, that's what we're trying to say. They're little and they're young.
Hi, I'm Serena.
I'm Karen. I'm Ivy. I'm Samantha. I'm Keisha.
I'm Wanting.
I'm Avery. And we are
The Negatives.
So we're here today to talk to you about our game, The Whole Story. The Whole Story is a game about a girl named Wendy who gets sent back into the past. And in the past, in order to return to her time, she has to go on a quest, and she's helped by her shovel along the way. So this game is a top-down adventure puzzle RPG.
And our main game mechanics are digging and solving riddles.
And our characters, the main character, Wendy, she's this girl who wants to be an archaeologist when she grows up. So when she was digging in her backyard, she got sent back in time, and that's when she meets like all these crazy characters like unicorns and royalty and princess and all this stuff.
And throughout her journey, trip, whatever you want to call it, she goes several places, the first of which is a forest. pretty simple area. The second one is a lake with a beach kind of around it. The third one is a house in the middle of the woods that looks abandoned.
What? Oh yeah, I also have a riddle for you. If I drink, I die. If I eat, I'm fine. What am I?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay.
Adorable overload. But the game actually looks quite good.
Mm.
And you can play
Damn.
the 2-week prototype. I'll link it.
So that's super impressive. That's, I mean, you know, to have, that's a young group of people making what I thought looked like almost a pretty standard indie game that I would
Yeah.
see from developers, you know, actual people, you know, self-proclaimed developers. So that's awesome. That's impressive. I think
Yeah.
that's cool.
I love those stretch goals too. It's like digging through this, but yeah, it's adorable.
Digging goals. Oh, so clever.
Shovel upgrades. I mean, obviously, I'm sure with the Kickstarter they had a lot of help with the industry titans that are helping with the girls make games. But it's good to see that they've done so well. They're already at nearly double their goal. They have another week to go, and it means that these girls who have not even graduated high school or junior high for some
Yeah, I was about
of
to
them,
say, or even middle school.
yeah, are going to be publishing their first game for sale.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, cool. So, I mean, so essentially, I mean, so you have to dig for, you dig for stuff, and
Yeah.
these, and you're digging for things to help you get back? Is that what it was?
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You find riddles throughout the world, and you probably have to find the items to solve those riddles through the digging.
Yes.
Mhm.
And there's a really beautiful unicorn, a purple blue one.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It looks like one part King's Quest, one part Animal Crossing.
Which is amazing. That's a great combo.
Yeah, totally.
So, and to clarify, like these were made in a summer, like within like their summer.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, it's 3 weeks at the maximum. You can go for
Wow.
1, 2, or 3 weeks. So that game was made in 3 weeks from start to finish.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, not too shabby.
And that's why I'm like that. When after watching, I was like, that is damn impressive.
Yeah.
Look at them go, making these youngsters. God, when I was 11, I was probably just like punching myself in the face.
I would have been playing a whole buttload of Battletoads, I think.
I think that's probably when I had my Dreamcast and I was making love to it.
Nice. That was high school for me. Okay, we'll move on to something a little bit tastier. This game is called The Bacon Man, and we'll watch a video and then we can chat.
Hey everyone, my name is Neil Lorenza, Managing Director of SkyMap Games. And today I'm here to talk about our tasty new adventure game, Bacon Man. Bacon Man is a 3D side-scrolling platformer. Take on the role of our meaty hero as he fights his way through the food groups to reclaim his rightful place on the meat throne. We're excited to bring Bacon Man to Kickstarter. Let's head over to SkyMap Games HQ and check out what the team's up to. Hey guys, how's it going?
I said I don't want to be in your stupid video.
Hi, I'm John Vasquez. I do programming, and I also do the 3D art.
We've been working with the Unreal Engine for a long time on various freelance projects.
Bacon Man originally started as a 2D project, but we didn't want to make Bacon Man a retro Metroidvania game with 90s style nostalgic pixel art, so we went with 3D instead. The switch to 3D really helped us capture the strengths of our entire team. Here to talk more about the art of Bacon Man is our lead artist, Ryan.
Hi, I'm Angelos, game designer, level designer, and story writer. During the early stages of development, we shaped Bacon Man after some of our favorite games, such as Mega Man X and the Rayman series. As a player, I love the gratification of beating a tough challenge. And that's why every checkpoint in Bacon Man makes you feel like $1,000,000. As a game designer, I try to implement the same exact feeling in all of my designs.
Wow, Angelo, sounds great. Let's go talk to Kyle Andrew about the Bacon Man original soundtrack.
What do you think, Neil?
Incredible! Well, that's all the time we have. But before we go, let's talk to Braxton Burks about the rest of the Bacon Man soundtrack.
Hi everyone, I'm Braxton Burks, composer and arranger for Bacon Man. I work from home in Seattle, but I'm excited to work with SkyMap and make an incredible soundtrack. We're using orchestrated sounds to make this an amazing experience. And the amazing part about...
Thank you for your time. Please support Bacon Man in his quest for glory. And be sure to check us out on Steam Greenlight. Cheers.
So I wanted to show that off because that is a well done Kickstarter video.
That was great.
Yeah.
Like, that was so charming. Like,
yeah.
And very well aware of itself. That was great.
They weren't overreaching. They weren't trying to be like ridiculously hilarious. And they were honest. They explained who they were, what they were doing, what they needed, and why they needed it. Like, that's perfect.
That is a good humble attempt. You know, that's it's very honest and very straightforward.
Yeah. The game, I like the game. I think it looks really cool. Like, it's got kind of a I made the joke in chat, but it has a Super Meat Boy undertones.
Yeah, it was like, it's almost like a Super Meat Boy meets like Guacamelee. Like,
yeah.
2D brawler mixed with this really complex wall platforming thing. So, I mean, two really great, awesome games, which would probably be great to combine, but it's definitely apparent that, you know, one of those is a heavy inspiration on it, as, you know, those games are very inspiring to many.
Yeah, exactly.
Indie games right now, but yes.
And that one, they're asking for $20,000, which is pretty modest for an indie game.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, they're only at about half with about 11 days to go. This is the last leg. This is the spot you don't want to be in Kickstarter, because you can go either way here.
Mm-hmm.
That last week...
we did a story on them. Somebody did a story on them a couple weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, I believe, too.
2
so.
weeks. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be making those stretch goals by any means.
What are they asking for them?
For the stretch goals, they need...
Yeah. I mean, what are they planning on doing with them? I mean, of course, there's...
Yeah, they have some of them locked, but they're talking about New Game Plus, which is, you know, basic, and then extra game modes for time attack and battle race.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nothing pushing, like, different platforms just yet and stuff like that.
Nothing, yeah. I'm sure they probably have those in their locked ones, but can't see them yet.
Well, I think the video was great, and I think their attempt at presenting themselves was perfect. They weren't trying to make themselves seem more important than they are, which is a common thing when you're an indie game developer, because of course you want to be professional, of course you want to present yourself in the best way possible. But it's, it's also nice to see people who are very well aware of what they're doing and are kind of letting the work speak for them and allowing their personalities to show through. So the video itself, I think, is perfect. Why they're not doing better, I don't know. I can't pinpoint that. Maybe it is because it seems too familiar to a couple other games.
And
maybe
sometimes it's just how it goes with Kickstarter. Like,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but there are a lot of projects that probably should have made their backing and just never did.
And I think a lot of it also just does with how they campaigned
Yeah.
the Kickstarter too. And I think that's where a lot of Kickstarters will fumble, is that like they have everything in place, they know exactly what they're doing, they're going to execute it, but the pre-execution is probably the single most important thing. It's like how you vocalize your Kickstarter is going to happen.
Oh yeah, building
And
that.
I think bringing it back to Elysian Shadows, I think that's the reason why Elysian Shadows is doing so well, because it's been, on their website, they've been talking about it for, I think, over a month, leading up to, like, we're doing a Kickstarter in a month, and they even had a great, like, hour-long, almost documentary-style episode of them discussing how they're planning to execute their Kickstarter.
Like,
So
one of the best ones I saw was the people that did Shadowrun Returns. Their next Kickstarter was for a board game called Golem Arcana, and they got a working prototype of said game out to PAX and had people at PAX playing the game, signing up for the newsletter, and letting them know that they were going to have a Kickstarter in like 2 weeks after PAX was done, and
Perfect.
then getting their emails so that they could get that going. And I mean, they asked for $500,000, and they made it right at the end.
yeah.
They made about $100,000 in the last 24 hours. But yeah.
Do you remember Neverending Nightmares?
Yep.
Yeah, because like I saw them at PAX, PAX Prime, and they were kind of doing something similar, except I think their Kickstarter actually like started the day that they were at PAX.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was really nice to be able to like play the game there, and then the actual developer was like, "Hey, we have our Kickstarter up right now," and like gave them my email, and they were able to send a newsletter right there then. So like, that's also a great thing. I do remember them struggling a little bit at the end, but they made it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So.
And not to toot my own horn, but speaking of kicking off Kickstarters, TerraTech, they reached their goal last week, and they kicked off their Kickstarter by presenting the game on Average Giants, which is our Monday show here at IGM.
Well, damn, Skippy. That's oh man, Nick the Average Gamer.
Oh dear.
Single-handedly funded that. But no, that's amazing. That's absolutely fantastic.
But it's so important how much the preload of your Kickstarter is ridiculously important.
Pre-publicist, pre-advertising is a big deal. Some people, like I said, have it so meticulously put together, they think that, just that Kickstarter being put up is going to be all they need. But no, it's Kickstarter. People don't hang out on that website. That's just a vessel to allow you to put something out. It's very rare when somebody's like, I'm going to go see what's happening on Kickstarter today. And I think a lot of people are under the impression that just if it's on Kickstarter, that'll do your advertising for you.
Exactly.
So, indeed. Anyways, Bacon Man, I think it looks promising. I think that team is cool.
Yeah, agreed. Next up, we have time for one more. So we're going to be looking at a game called Stash, which is from a company called Frog Dice. And I did the review of their last game in the April edition of IGM. It's called Rainmaker, and they're really good at taking different genres and mushing them together like a blender. So let's give this video a look, and then we can look at it from that perspective.
Hi Kickstarter, I'm Michael Hartman, president of Frog Dice, an indie studio making games for 20 years. I wanted to take a moment to thank the Kickstarter community for funding and enjoying our last 2 games, which were completed and delivered on time. Now I'd like to show you our online multiplayer RPG, Stash. First thing you do is create a character. Choose a race and gender, and then use the massive customization options to get just the right look. The world map has a tabletop gaming feel. Your customizable miniature moves around the map until an encounter or a point of interest like this cave. Some dungeons are handcrafted with unique stories and lore. Combat is turn-based using a tactical grid. With tons of cool abilities and spells, no 2 battles will be the same. We also have procedurally generated dungeons that you find randomly while exploring. The maps, enemies, and bosses are random and provide infinite content variety. Is there loot? Oh yes, there is tons of loot. And every dungeon has a final boss with even more loot. In Stash, there is no loot left behind. Every character gets to own a place in the world. Your base of operations starts off as a lowly bedroll, but can be upgraded and improved over time. You could eventually have a massive castle. You can customize and decorate inside and out with an enormous variety of stuff. You can even build things that unlock crafting options or just fun things to play with. If you find or craft something cool, you can put it on the market and advertise in the paper. Stash is a multiplayer game in a persistent world. You can play solo, but it is dangerous to go alone. Take friends. You can create a clan with your allies and compete against other clans for dominance. Engage in optional solo or group PvP, and be part of the story that unfolds based on the actions of our players. There is so much more in Stash. We've barely scratched the surface. Our team is incredibly excited to make this game. Please back our campaign to help us make this amazing game and build a great community. Thank you.
Okay. I have a few things to say about it, that's for sure. I like the idea of this game. I think it's really cool, kind of bringing the tabletop to online. I like the procedural, like they've got everything they need. They have the Skinner box. They have this procedural dungeons that have loot that's randomly generated, which means that people will keep coming back to get loot and loot and loot, etc., etc. And they have the customization to build up your own house, etc., etc. However, $100,000 is not going to help them very much.
I was just about to say this, that it kind of, to me feels like something that'd be like a Facebook game.
Yeah.
Something very, just like addictive, very looty, very like do this over and over and over and over again. And you just want to get more and more and more and more. And then you said $100,000. Yeah. Not unless they can give me a cherry pie out of a frying pan. Because like I'm like a huge cherry pie dude, and if I could just like make it in a frying pan, my god. But I don't know, for $100,000. Well, Triforce coins. Bam.
Yeah, seriously, I'm sure the game is only going to cost like, I don't know, $15,000 to make, and they need the other 85 to pay off Nintendo for putting fucking Triforce coins in there.
When they could easily just pay someone maybe $50-$100 to just design a new coin.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just make it a solid triangle and just give her the gap in the middle.
That is not a good idea. It's like, okay, we can be unique by having unique coins. I get that. It's branding. That's cool. But branding is not ripping off Nintendo, who are well known for shutting people down for ripping them off.
Yeah, you don't say. And I'm sorry, what was else you said they did? You've played something they've done? You did a review for their game?
Oh, yeah, I did. It was called Rainmaker, which was an interesting, how would I say? It was a 3-match mixed with like a tower defense.
Okay.
It was cool. It was a really good amalgamation, and their gameplay was bang on the money. And as you went through
$100,000 money?
No. No. Actually, that was one of my biggest criticisms. Thank you for reminding me. Was the game would have been perfect. It would have made a huge amount of sales on Steam if they sold it for between $5 and $10. However, they were asking for $60.
What?
And it was not a AAA game in any way.
So apparently Frog Dice, they apparently know how to make somewhat intriguing looking games based on what I would say is somewhat casual kind of stuff. But they're just asking for too much money. They're greedy. These are greedy people.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows? Still.
Well,
$60 that's $60 is a lot for anything. Honestly, AAA titles, $60.
I still have trouble dropping out. If it's a single player, I'll wait for the summer Christmas sales on Steam. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, exactly. So that's $60.
Yeah, so $100,000. I unfortunately don't think they're gonna make it. I think this game has a lot of potential, and I think they could do a whole heck of a lot with it. They could even make it, if it were like free to play, would be a really good way to market this game.
That's kind of what I was, insinuating when I said like a kind of like it reminded me of like a Facebook kind of game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because those games make lots of money, mostly because anybody can play them. They're free to play, and yeah, I think that would make the most sense. This appeared to me of what could be a really interesting, unique, paid, free to play game, but pay for certain attributes and stuff. So, where are these guys from?
They're in the States. These guys.
They're in the States.
Yeah. Yeah, you crazy Yanks.
Intriguing. They're from my neck of the woods.
Yeah. But it's like they have everything here. If they made this free-to-play game, I think it would be wildly successful because they have the Skinner box that'll keep people coming back. They have the customization options that you could easily put on your online store, having cosmetic skins or races, like cosmetic races or anything like that.
A lot of cool customization stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which people go bonkers over.
Yeah.
So.
Crazy bananas, coconuts.
And that's also that's also something that people love to pay for too. Like if you have a free to play game and you pay for customization stuff, like people will do it surprisingly. Like so I think there's a lot of things that they could do differently and still make money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so yeah, that's unless they're really just adamant and don't want to be a part of the free to play thing, which is also admirable, but it just for certain game types like this, it's just kind of the trend. So yeah, that's as I would say, wonky donkey.
Gold.
Triforce gold coin. So yeah, that wolf samurai guy's looking pretty sweet.
Yeah, like I said, they have a lot of neat ideas. They've been making games for 20 years. These guys actually have a running Mush, which I don't know if anybody knows what that is. It's a multiplayer text-based RPG, which is actually the type of game that I met my wife on. So they're fun, and they have a lot of experience making games. They know what gameplay mechanics work and what don't, but I think they need to rethink their marketing.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah. That being said, that pretty much concludes our show for this week.
Well then, that was smooth.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Like X-Lax.
Like X-Lax.
Perfect.
Smooth and easy.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us today. It's always a blast. It was a pleasure having you on the show, Kurt, and I look forward
Thank you, Nick.
Look forward to having you there in the future too. What do we got? So on Monday, so tomorrow, we have the Guns of Icarus are going to be on Average Giants, which is going to be huge. We have a team ready to play at my house, so we'll have a LAN team going up against whatever the developers of Guns of Icarus can throw at us. And then on Tuesday, I'm not sure if we have an in-depth episode or not, but either way, make sure to stay tuned, guys. Much love from everybody here at IGM, and we'll see y'all next time.
So long.